What's up? Welcome back to the Guitar Corner. We are on volume 9. Got my trusty Les Paul knockoff. We're a little loud today. It's probably going to take the speaker a second to get my cake hole running here loud enough. Turn this distortion off. There's those octaves we were talking about. This is Joe Satriani slide octave ripoff. Let's make a little loop here, people. We're gonna do this. 2, 3, 4. There's a little harmonic thing we talked about a couple ago that I goofed up. I wanted this. I'm sitting in this chair crazy. This is what I meant to do, people. Little 9. little 9 chord with the little, get those right next to each other. Folks, thank you for joining me today. I have enjoyed doing these, and we're gonna get into some nitty gritty stuff over the next few of them. We're gonna talk about these bends. Here's what I was playing here, folks. I'm playing a C minor 7, and then that's a F minor 7 there, and that's a nice way to play that chord. And then that's the old Hendrix on the. That is a G7 with the flat 5 in it. Yeah, buddy. Is that an add 9 in there too? Yeah. We're gonna have a chord building course too, and I'm gonna remind myself all the stuff I used to know. I've gotten too used to working on these songs and recording all the time. I forgot some of my theory. I'll get it back with you. So yeah, the minor 7s and then G7 flat 5, and we just make a loop out of those. And I'm just running mostly C Aeolian, C minor scale, but I'm sticking a lot of the harmonic minor scale in it. All a harmonic minor scale is when you're playing the Aeolian, the minor scale. There's just a drop down. Instead of it being a 7, it's a sharp 7. So right off the root note, you go down a half step. Instead of it's, and I do that with the 5 sometimes too. That way we get the little gypsy sound. Tritone again. We talked about that. The devil's music. So the thing is, I love going between the minor and then just pentatonic, the blues scale. Harmonic minor. Now obviously we gotta learn to play these all over. But it's a great way to learn them if you know your pentatonic scale. C pentatonic, you can look that up. And in the beginning of this series, I put some links to some folks who will give you some of the beginner stuff to get up to speed. But if you know that, it's not too hard to add in the 2nd, the 6th, the 2nd, the 6th. Now, you got a minor scale. The pentatonic was 5 of those 7. And then with the harmonic minor, just drop down off that root note to the sharp 7, and you got it. To me, that is the most beautiful scale. Maybe it's because I grew up under the piano. We're hearing some classical piano and all that neoclassical 80s, 90s stuff, but I love that scale. So yeah, there's a little bit on the harmonic scale, and let me finish today with and by the way, I'm cheating. I'm cutting this and I'm putting it up on YouTube, but I'm actually up in Montana right now. So isn't that crazy? I'm not here live. What is it? The guy goes, I'm here live. I'm not a cat. But I'm coming right back down from Montana. We're going to make a bunch more of these together, and I'll be able to see the comments then too and hopefully respond, go back and forth with you. But I want to talk about 2 things that I want us to be aware of. And when I say us, I mean me. Winnebago man. I don't want to crap out of anybody. That includes me. And I did it right here as I was playing. Every now and then I'd get a little, that little melody didn't work, and I'd forget to sing, and I'd try to do the fireworks and acrobatics and stuff. They're fun. It's cool. It's good to do get a little fire on there. Turn the afterburners on. That was the other lick I did. Folks, if we are playing for speed's sake, if we're just playing to show off, we're not gonna have two people. Our better halves aren't gonna listen to this crap. Nothing's gonna happen. So the two things to be aware of. The first one is be careful of rehearsing for speed. Speed for speed's sake is a real mess. I wish I could take back all the time when I was growing up. Man, I got this camera crazy here. If I could go back, I would have spent that time listening to more soulful guitar players than I have over the years. Thankfully, I got over this. But I came up in a time in guitar where I pulled this magazine out that I still have because this was what this is what we got back in the day. Speed, how to get it, how to use it. I'm gonna tell you how to use it. Don't use it. Sometimes don't use it. If we're not singing, and there's times that you could wanna. I do a lot of what do they call it, tremolo picking, where I'll get something. Let's see if this loop is still in here. Yeah, I'm gonna turn the distortion on. I'll give you an example where it's fast picking, but I don't think it's necessarily not. I don't think it's outside of being melodic, but. Here it is. So that's probably, Santana uses that a lot. That's a thing where you're on one note, you're just picking. But what's cool about that is it's still saying, you're still singing a melody. So I think that kind of stuff, you can get a little bit of excitement built with the crowd or with whoever, with yourself, getting, even if you're in a room by yourself, we're just trying to create something, get energy moving around the room. You can use some of that speed stuff, but man, some of the stuff I used to work on was just crazy. It's this lick I'd always play. I still use it sometimes, but I would go. And I would just try to get the metronome to start smoking and blow off the freaking table. Folks, it is great. You gotta have your chops together. Believe me, coming back into this series, knowing there's some dangerous guitar players out there, I'm getting some of my chops back that I lost spending time just songwriting and recording, just making sure that I'm, getting some of this guitar magic back. But folks, for speed's sake, I wish I would have spent more of that time listening to those soulful players, go to see more live music, set in with people, instead of sitting around trying to be the fastest gun. I mean, some of the most beautiful players, you look at B.B. King, he's singing every note. Half the time he's playing half of the pentatonic scale and just one note with his own vibrato, his own. The way it's singing out of the thing, that's the thing. We gotta find our voices. We gotta find what it is that's us. That's it's like just in life. How do we be authentic? It's a Bob Dylan line. It's one of my favorite things I've ever heard. He says, "Fooled me into thinking I had something to protect. Fooled me into thinking I had something to protect." A shrink told me that once, man, and it was that's some deep stuff right there. So let's not worry about keeping up with the Joneses and matching the next person playing. Let's make sure we can find ourselves. The other thing to watch out for, and I'll be talking about this off and on through this whole however long the series goes, gear. The other thing to watch out for is gear. Instead of spending time buying, selling, trading, looking up, studying, I got the ohms on this and the chicken wing on this and this is going to do this and this thing has, I fall into it. I was just talking about a microcosm, this amazing delay, reverb, something or another pedal that I got. But I swear the learning curve on this is a wonderful pedal, but it takes a while to figure out there's so many options. I heard Paul Gilbert say this once. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. He talks about how we don't just plug into an amp anymore and learn how to play before we get all this other gear. He's talking about rack mount boxes. And he said the funniest thing I've ever heard. He said, he goes, well, it's kind of like saying to your kid, hey, Junior, here's your first car. It's a Boeing 747. My man Paul Stanley from Kiss said, if you can't plug a Les Paul into a Marshall stack, and play, then you shouldn't have shown up. And I think there's something to that. We got to get to the center of things before we expand out. So let's watch out for worrying about how fast we're playing, and let's watch out for gear. Gear's wonderful. It's beautiful. I love it. I've bought lots of guitars and traded and messed around, but man, none of that gear is ever going to replace us learning how to get to what's inside and get the inside outside. None of that's ever gonna be able to do that. Lastly, I will say I had this shirt on the other day, the pub. I ate at the pub down there in the Gulch. Fun restaurant. They were playing a whole bunch of like 80s metal, and my man George Lynch came on Breaking the Chain by Dokken. We first moved out to Los Angeles, man, I lived at Jeff Pilson's old house, the Docking House. I was renting up in Van Nuys. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, you're Jeff Pilson. He's with Foreigner now. He's an incredible dude. Big into yoga and West Wing. That's two things that save your life. Anyway, man, that solo on Breaking the Chain. If y'all are into some old, sweet rock and roll, check out the solo on Breaking the Chain around me. George Lynch plays a different version of the melody, and that's the solo. There's none of the freaking, there's no crazy, there's none of that. He can do anything, but there's none of the acrobatics, man. He's just kicking it. It's just wonderful. I got to get my chair set up that when I want to even make fun of myself or something else, I can hit it. Folks, yeah, check that out. Last thing, this is for Chief Justice, man. This is a long one today. Sorry. This is the last thing. Show and tell. Look what I got in the mail, Chiefy. Yeah, buddy. I know it's nostalgia day. This whole series is nostalgia day, but we're having a good time. We all had a hard year and a half, man. We're trying to get through this. Man, Pitfall and Stampede. I know you beautiful youngins are like, man, what you talking about old video games? Or maybe some of y'all just, this is retro business here. Man, my mama used to play this thing forever. This, our man Miguel Herrera came over and said, Lasso is not long enough. Like, yeah, I know. Pitfall, this was the jam, trying to get those gold bars. That's what we're trying to do in this thing. We're trying to get some gold bars and teach each other some stuff. Anyway, I'm laughing on Stampede. I told my lady that we need to get, there used to be a game I played in the arcade when I was little called Centipede. Dude, we need a game called Millipede. I don't know if the rest of you in Nashville know about this. They can't hurt you, but these millipedes, they're forming unions. They got ones that are freaking acrobats. I got little dudes on guitar right now trying to get in this video, little millipedes playing guitar. I got so many millipedes trying to get in this house right now. It is unbelievable. This is a dude on a little cycle. They are running around this room. It's not that bad, but I'm taking millipedes out. That's probably my problem. I'm like, don't kill them. Like, man, you need to kill some millipedes. Anyway, this one was long and crazy. I love y'all. I will see you next time.